I press start streaming on. What happens now? I press start streaming. Yes. Where am I? Am I going to appear? Yes, I appeared. Hello. Hello, everybody. I'll just do the usual. I'll just share. Twitter. Okay. And face cloth. Is anybody there? Is anyone still awake? Oh, 2 people viewing. That's something, isn't it? Oh. Hello, everyone. How are you? How are you, my dears? I'll just let the viewers build for a while, just to check everyone can hear me and everything, because it should be okay. I think everything should be working all right. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Hello, Crafty Nihilist. I've got 2 people join me at once. Hello, Crafty. How are you? Yay. How's things? Excuse me. It's 11 p.m. I'm still awake. Is anybody else out there? Oh, I should share it on. You're knackered, Ben. All right. I mean, hope you're all right, guys. Hello, Jake Yorkman. Hello. How are you? I should just tag a few people in this. I'll just tag some people by text. There we are. And now I'm going to text some people by messenger. Just let them know I'm here. Because some people, for some reason, won't let me tag them on Facebook. I don't know why that is. It's understandable if you're all, like, getting tired. I mean, I probably would stay up all night. I've got to work tomorrow. But believe it or not, I just... hello, how are you? Discerning Consciousness, hello. How are you? Diego Rivera, grab them by the... See? Yeah. People watching I've been watching Sargon for the last 2 hours. Oh, thanks, Jake. Jake loves the channel. Thank you. Diego Rivera, greetings. And the Light Swerdlow. Hello, Light Swerdlow. And you're not Stuart Swerdlow, are you? And the big Scottish Midgie. Hello. And Lisa, hello again. Trying to stay up for a bit. Hello, Claire. I just tagged you. For some reason, when I tag you on Facebook, nothing happens. I have to send you inboxes. But it's good to see you guys. Jake Yorkman says, if Trump doesn't win, then Brexit and everything achieved in 2016 will have been a waste of time. That's not true, Jake. It's not. I mean, it'll be a setback, but those things are ours, and they're ours forever. They can't change that. But well, I've got some quite good news for you. There's been no official results yet. Still 0-0. Still, yep. Biden 0, Trump 0. It's a no-score draw so far. But I've been following Twitter. Ah, yes, Lisa's mentioned something I'm going to bring up. BitChute going down. Hello, Rilla Man. I'm not bad, thanks. I'm not tired. I've had a few more. This is my 3rd glass now, so if I'm a bit like tipsy. Biden is a straw man. He is. Jake Yorkman says, the thing with Trump, we have an ally. With Biden, we'll be at the back of the queue. Yeah, Jake. Yes, I mean, I think we can deal with it. We'll deal with whatever comes our way, we can deal with it. We'll address it when it happens. But Diego Rivera says Trump will win by a landslide, and I hope that's true. Obviously, I really do. So far, there's no end of predictions right now. But there's been an update in the last 2 hours since I've been on the air. Firstly, I've got to check the backup audio's running. Yes, it is. Firstly, something happened to BitChute. BitChute unexpectedly went down. Just vanished. Just poop. And it was actually mentioned on Sargon Stream. That's how I found out. And then it was down for about 45 minutes, then it came back up again. But basically, Ray and everyone else at BitChute were like really fighting hard to try and get it back up. They just said it looks like we've been deplatformed on some critical infrastructure that has taken the site offline. We're trying to speak to people and find out more before saying more than that. So far, we have received some very general account termination emails. That's it. And I tweeted, just a coincidence, nothing to worry about, the David Icke thing. And I guess what happened next? David Icke was suspended on Twitter. Tonight, of all nights. Are we seriously expected to believe that is a coincidence? Of course, the skeptics will say it is. I mean, skeptics will always say things are coincidences, won't they? They'll just say, oh, it's a coincidence. It's a coincidence, nothing to worry, But it's not. I mean, David Icke says it kind of sarcastically. But it just seems weird that also we've had these three things. Firstly, YouTube's not been functioning normally the last couple of days. Styx made a thing about this, saying it was just lots of people reporting problems. It was mostly like the fringe channels that they don't like, the borderline content. So this is why I'm doing a backup audio of my live stream, just in case something happens with my live stream. Yeah. Then BitChute came back up. This is the good news. We got service back to normal. There are some issues as a result of this we will need to deal with. If you notice glitches, please be patient. We're waiting to have a chat with our service provider rather than speculate here. But it is working. I just checked. I'm just going to refresh it now to see if the page is still there. And it's there. Good. It's there. I've been watching Amazing Polly, actually. Amazing Polly did a really good video. So she says, why Trump will win. I mean, a lot of people are very confident of Trump's victory, and I'm trying to be confident of that too. Another bit of an update here. Team Trump have just issued an incident report form along with the helplines. We have this here, election issue report form, and it gives you your name, phone number, email, zip code, state of the incident, county of the incident, and it asks you to provide everything here. This has been issued officially by Team Trump. So they're really, really taking the possibility of electoral fraud seriously. This is President Trump's official campaign organisers. They brought out helplines for electoral fraud, and now we have a report form for electoral fraud. Mike Stutchbury, one of my hate follows, a good friend of Kevin Logan and Christy Winters, has published this. Police have arrested an armed man in North Carolina after concerns that he was at a polling place to intimidate voters. An armed man is arrested outside a North Carolina polling place. Now, you think, well, what's he going to be like? Presumably he's dressed in neutral clothing not to draw attention to himself. Guess what? Right. The Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department says they arrested an armed man Tuesday who returned to a polling place after being banned from the site earlier in the day. The man was wearing a Trump hat, combat boots, and a visible sidearm, unnerved Democrats who were gathering at a rally near the polling place at the Oasis Shrine Temple in Charlotte, North Carolina. The police identified the man as Justin Dunn. They'd issued a statement that he voted at the site but continued to loiter afterwards, possibly to intimidate other voters. He's wearing a Trump hat and combat boots. Now, I ask you, isn't that a little bit rather like the passport that fell out of the plane and wasn't burned? Doesn't that sound a bit like planted evidence to you? It just seems it's just too convenient, isn't it? He just happened to be wearing a Trump hat. You know, it's like what's his name? Thomas Mayer, the man who did not kill MP Joe Cox. He had all these apparently racist books in his house, although they hadn't been read. You could tell because they were paperbacks and there were no creases on the spine. And he shouted, "Britain first!" as he gunned down this poor innocent young MP. You can, once you get used to these kind of things, you can see through them, can't you? You can see through them. Now, there's not, as I said, it's still a 0-0 draw at the moment. But according to, there's been several people commenting on Twitter about exit polls in Florida that seem hopeful. Unfortunately, problem is both sides are now calling it as a victory. So, for example, Paul Joseph Watson is saying that it's a victory. Christy Winters is saying it's a blue wave. I don't know what to think right now, but the actual figures at the moment are there's a vast about just over a third of the exit polls have voted for Trump. Just under a third have voted for Biden. So Trump is technically in the lead, but there's almost a third of undecided voters who are registered as undecided or did not comment, or are registered as independent voters. So it's hard to know exactly what's going on there. It's difficult to know. It's difficult to know what's actually happening. But I'm keeping an eye on the feed, seeing what's happening, see if there's anything else going on. Team Trump has just reported the helplines again. They just tweeted the helplines, which is good. This is really great. It's really fantastic that this is happening. On the very night of elections, they've come out openly about this sort of thing. Oh, here we go. Arizona update, 4 p.m. Republicans still leading by nearly 2.51 in election, 2.51% points in election day ballots. Trump. Here we go. These, I think, are the exit polls. Democrats 25,827. Republican 57,064. That's a huge lead. Undecided 45,000. I mean, that sounds too good to be true, to be honest, because Arizona was always said to be one that Trump. That was not supposed to be a state in play, which sounds to me suspicious. Sounds a bit too good to be true. But Project Veritas have said here, have your camera, go to the polls, record the corruption. The integrity of our elections is at stake. Absolutely. Tiberius Kirk has been tweeting this. Here we go. Just in Brooklyn, New York, polling locations. Huge GOP turnout. Right, that's amazing. So that's in New York City, which is supposedly a safe Democrat area. The voting machines are broken. And people are being told to leave their ballots with the poll workers. And when they're back up, they'll be scanned in later. I'm retweeting that. Just isn't that amazing, eh? When the Republicans come out in force, the machines break down. Are we supposed to believe that? It's going to be dodgy. I mean, there's going to be absolute dodginess. David Icke banned, suspended from Twitter. We have lots of we have BitChute down for a while now, back up. People are gathering in front of the White House now. It's now the time is now Eastern Standard Time. It's 6:15 p.m. Central Time's 5:15. Mountain Time 4:15. Pacific Time 3:15. So polls are starting to close now. We'll be getting counts, and then hopefully there'll be some results. Anyway, how can you guys getting on? It's only 32 watching, a bit later than last night, but hello. It's good to see you guys. Thanks for joining me today. And Trump was dancing. Yeah, I saw that, Lisa. That was great. And Midgie asked, "What's your take on Charlie Ward?" I'm not sure. I've only watched a couple of his videos. I know Caroline Stevens speaks very highly of him, but she blocked me for no reason. So, yeah. Jake Yorkman says, have you seen the gun sales? They've gone up 65%. So the Americans are suspecting more social unrest. Absolutely. I mean, if I was an American, I'd have got myself a gun ages ago. David Schultz says, the Crow House is on BitChute. And you also, yeah, that's Max Egan, yeah. Banned from YouTube, I think he is. Jake Yorkman says, Simon Parks has put £100 on Trump to win. Oh, wow. I put a tenner on. I put on a tenner on 92, so I could get £45. Jorge Rodriguez, hello, from Australia. Thanks for getting up. Jake Yorkman says, I seriously can't see Trump losing. Apathy will be the only thing that makes Biden president. Yeah, and Jake, have you as I said earlier, apathy is gone. I mean, the massive turnout. So if Biden wins, it means that he's the guy. It's Super Biden who's broken the apathy. He, of all people in American political history, for over 100 years, it's that sleepy-eyed, blank-stared man, this bitter, aggressive, crotchety old git, is the one who's inspired the American people out of apathy. Really? It's Claire. Claire's there. Claire, you're a fan of the Chronicles of Narnia, aren't you? Oh yeah, you're posting, right? Claire, that's good. Claire, you've read The Last Battle, right, of Chronicles of Narnia. To give you a little background, Aslan the Great Lion it's said that Aslan has come back to Narnia. Now, Aslan, of course, is... Oh, thanks, Claire. Brilliant. I'm glad you're here. Aslan the Great Lion has come back to Narnia. However, it's faked. The king... Yeah, The Last Battle, that's right. The king, King Tyrion, he works out very quickly that it's a fake Aslan. What's happened is there's this monkey, this ape called Shift, who has a donkey friend called Puzzle, and he's got his donkey friend to put on a lion costume. and there's this scene where Aslan's actually in this stable. He's just hiding in a stable. And there's one scene where King Tyrion is actually dethroned, and he's tied to a tree or tied to a post. And he sees, because they light a fire and everyone's gathered round, and Aslan the Great Lion comes out. He's returned to lion, and guess what? You can see straight away it's fake. He says he's this small, rather. He's walking in a stick-like way. Looks very uncomfortable. Looks very, very diminutive and feeble. And the king says, I've never seen a lion before, but I didn't think a lion would look like that. And that's what I think when I see Joe Biden. I'm seeing the man who supposedly has motivated the Americans into action for the first time ever. He's broken the deadlock of the 50-50 status quo. And it's bloody Joe Biden. I mean, Claire, you know what I mean, don't you? I mean, it's just unbelievable. The line is an ass, yes. It just doesn't make sense. It makes no sense at all. Yeah. Or Simon, hopefully, will make some money. I'll make 45. Hopefully, Simon will make a bit of money pretty soon. Lisa's watching other people at 1:30 a.m. That's right. I'm not going to be. Probably won't do this for very long because I want to watch Styx. Styx is currently on Sargon's channel, and I want to see Styx when he goes live. Actually, so I might go for an hour or something like that, depending on how many questions you've got. If not, I'll end the live stream and I'll carry on later if any of you are still awake, or if I'm still awake. Joe Trucker, yeah, BitChute is back up now. I'm glad to say. Oh, Splendid Isolation 11:11. Yes, we got an 11:11. That's great. Hello, Emma. Emma Lone is here. David, Splendid Isolation. It is, from what I've seen, everyone talking about Trump seems really confident. I mean, the people on Sargon's channel sounded really, really confident. Now, Christy Winters and Kevin Logan are going live as well. I'm not going to watch their shit right now. God knows what they're going to say. Christy's just tweeted that that Florida appears to be on appears to be good for her side. But I mean, I don't really. According to the people I've seen, lots of others on Sargon's channel, they're saying so far Trump is ahead in Florida according to the exit polls. So which is it? They're also saying there's lots of other states that are looking very, very rosy as well. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. And Nigel Farage has voted. No, he's not voted because he's not American. But he says the first polls are closing. He's very optimistic. He's put here, look, Gesser, the bookmaker, £10,000 to win on Donald Trump. 15-8. Good luck with that, Nigel. Good luck, mate. You'll make a fortune, buddy. No, that's Nigel Farage. Styx Hexenhammer's just voted Trump. Oh, good. I thought that at the time. Joe Biden's tweeted. Now, Styx has just replied to Joe Biden. Here we go. Joe Biden says, folks, time's running out to make your voice heard this election. If you haven't yet, go to iwillvote.com/locate to find your polling station and head there as soon as you can. What's Dick said to this? Vote Trump! Yes. Donald Trump has repeated vote GOP. Yeah, that's right. Loads of people outside the White House now. Lots of people saying Jesus saves. RT are currently live streaming. Rupley is doing the live stream there. This is getting exciting, isn't it? It's getting exciting. Christie is still gloating as if she thinks it's a blue wave. I don't know what else is going to happen. I mean, it's just too early to know, isn't it? I hate this waiting around. Richard Dawkins has just said this. What the Trump versus Biden result could mean for Brexit. Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, I think things look better for us as an independent nation if Trump wins, obviously, because Biden is very pro-EU. Biden was trying to talk the British people out of vote Brexit, whereas Trump was really, really pro-Brexit. Claire says she's got to go to sleep soon. No problem, Claire. You can head off for it. I'm probably not going to... This live stream's not going to be as long as the last one, this second part. I might do another one if I'm still awake later, if any else of you are. But the Light Swerdlow says, true, so true. Yeah, the moment of truth. It is, but it's not. It's a very long, drawn-out moment, isn't it? It's hours long. I'm sitting here biting my nails. Hugo Rune says he's happily stoned and looks forward to whatever interesting future we have. Well, I'm getting happily tipsy. And I will too. I'll face whatever comes with optimism. I will... Nancy Pelosi will end up as president one day, yeah. Jake Yorkman says, well, listen to InfoWars, and many people say if Biden wins, then Nancy Pelosi will end up as eventually. Well, she's the oldest of all. She's 80, but God knows what will happen. But yeah, but Claire says there's been Trump rallies in Nigeria. Oh, Nigeria. I thought I said Nigeria of all places. Yeah. Oh, he has a huge international support, not just in Britain. In Nigeria, as you mentioned. In Hong Kong, they were wearing these hats in the protests. Absolutely. 100%. Lisa says there's no coincidences, and honestly, the more time goes on, the less and less I believe in coincidences. Absolutely not. Absolutely. We'll probably know more sometime in the early hours when so far, like I said, the Sticks and the others, Sargon, are very confident for Florida. Christy Winters is also confident for Florida. Although according to I don't know exactly how this works, but I'm hoping Sargon's right, of course. Swerdlow says we need some light relief. Anyone know where Carol Noonan is? Carol, I was on Carol's live stream yesterday, but I've not seen her since. I hope she's all right. Check her. She's very active, so you'll probably see her at some point. Jake Yorkman, it's a very dark future for us if Trump's not president. It is. I mean, it doesn't mean it's not the end of the world, but it is. Obviously, it means that the deep state have clawed back some of the ground they've lost. But we won't know. We don't know that's going to happen. We just have to make the best of whatever happens. I mean, I feel very powerless. I feel I'm sitting here just waiting. It's this waiting game, and I find that very frustrating. I mean, I'm doing obviously doing this live stream, and you taking part in this live stream. If you can share it and spread it on your social media, that's helping. That's all we can do. Just do what we can and make the most of it, I think. Diego Rivera says, did the YMCA song win the LGBT vote for Trump? I really think that was a part of it, Diego Rivera. I'm waiting to see if people in nightclubs start singing MAGA. Oh, it's... Claire, thanks for what you said about Caroline. It's terrible. I mean, I talked about this in my Boris video. I don't know why these things happen. She just suddenly blocked me for no reason. It's just, oh, what? She probably read something someone said about me and believed it. I don't know. Cosmic Claire says, this is interesting after what we were talking about, Claire. This is literally, Claire just posted this after what I was talking about The Last Battle by C.S. Lewis. Brilliant book. The concluding part of the Chronicles of Narnia. Claire just saw a meme of Trump with his reflection in the lake, and the reflection was a lion. How about that, Claire, eh? Jake Yorkman says, I dread to think what will happen if Biden wins. It will be the end of democracy as they're planning to flood the courts with Democrats. Well, Jake, it's who knows what could happen. I mean, it may not be the end. I mean, if on the, I think I'm still hopeful for Trump. But if it doesn't work out, it could be just the spur we need. It could be just the spur that the decent people of this world actually need to get them off their asses. It could be 4 years that will make us and will break us or make us, and it will make us. Who knows? It could be we'll look back and think, well, it's a good job that happened, because if Trump had stayed in, it would have been great. But things are happening quicker now because we had this electric shock of reality that the deep state is coming back. Lisa says Caroline Stevens is a strange one. So So she's blocked you too, Lisa. I mean, I was talking to someone on when I met up with Miles. And says, she's blocked me as well. She's blocked loads of people. She's getting like Steve Shives. We'll have to have like a hashtag blocked by Caroline Stevens. I don't know. Big Scottish Mid shares, just waiting for an attack on UK just to keep us on our toes. Well, according to Lisa, it's already happening in Liverpool. Jake says, I'm listening to you speak about developments. It's putting my mind at rest. Honestly, it sounds positive. I'm glad, Jake. I'm glad. I still think it's too early to call, obviously, but I'm keeping hopeful until there's reason not to be hopeful. Jake says, will this be the end of the polls if Trump wins? Oh, no. They will find some way to rationalise out of it. Honestly, the polls in, I think it was 1948, I think. The guy called Dewey was. If you read Roswell Rising, you'll know that I twist the reality there to make Dewey win. But I think it was David Dewey or somebody Dewey. He was up against Harry Truman. And all the polls was absolutely positive that Dewey was going to unseat him. Again, it was a midterm. It was like a 4-year first-term presidency. And Truman was the incumbent. Every poll said that Dewey was going to unseat him. Everyone expected Dewey to unseat Truman. Truman won. So yeah, they'll survive. Oh yeah, they'll come back and they'll rationalise a way out of it, and they'll be back next time, definitely. Lisa, seeing Farage on a stage with Trump was brilliant, wasn't it? Farage is he's gone up in my estimations, actually, after his rather... I think after 2016 he made a lot of blunders, but he's gone up in my estimation now. He really has. Jake Yorkman says, on InfoWars, every caller today was saying they've never experienced such passion in the populace supporting a president. Jake, that's true. And InfoWars obviously is biased. However, I mean, look at the objective... Look at the objective analysis of Amazon. Look what the academic agent did with Amazon. Just checking the reviews of the merchandise. Look at the cookies. Look at the Pennsylvania cookies. The Trump ones are outselling. They're outselling Biden 6-1. These are not proper opinion polls, I know, but they say I can just see it everywhere from multiple different sources. David Schultz says, a blast from the past follows. It's not the people who vote that count, it's the people who count the votes. Joseph Stalin. Yes. How about that? Yeah, Lisa, Nigel, of course, was a big city banker. He's got £10,000 to throw around. I haven't. I think a tenner is the most I can throw around, but it's positive energy. It's giving out positive energy. And Simon, I'm glad he can afford to put £100 on. I'm glad he has. Good luck, Simon. Keep whatever you win, keep it all and spend it all on yourself. Crafty Nice is asking what time the votes will be counted. It's hard to know, Crafty, because basically it's like with elections over here. They have a polling station, and they have like the votes are counted in a particular place, and the results are then announced on TV. So it's very like our own. It's very like our own system. However, it takes a long time, and it basically takes as long as it takes to be counted. And of course, who knows? I mean, there's many people saying there won't be a result tonight because of all the postal ballots. Because 80 million of all the 150 million people voting, more than half, 80 million, are postal ballots. And they've not all been processed yet. Of course, this is the result of the fraud, isn't it? This is why makes fraud very easily. Hello, Green Sky 17. Everyone is like zombies right now. Is it the Nano ready to be switched on by Creepy Joe? That's why I hope it's not going to happen. Limonene9 says, "Hey, I'm from Australia." Hello, Limonene. Thanks for getting up. David UK says, "All votes tomorrow night, but the result is likely to be known tomorrow morning." The US, it'll be in the early hours. The most likely thing is there'll be some kind of result in the early hours of the morning US time, which will be probably sometime late morning UK time, depending. It all varies. Jake Yorkman says, "Let's be honest, look at our election last year and compare it to the US. The left option are exactly the same. Old, rich, white guys that are as left as they come, but obviously lie." Hello M again. MJ says, "I can't believe you haven't opened that bottle of Jack Daniels yet." Oh, bloody hell, give me a chance, maybe later. Bonto Max says, "What if the shadow elite orchestrate for Biden to win so they could push more draconian laws while the pandemic lasts and then bomb Iranian nuclear facilities next year to push Agenda 21? Well, that's what concerns me, Bonto. But the good news is it concerns President Trump too. These aren't just fringe loonies like me, conspiracy theorists, saying it. The President of the United States is saying this too. The Light Swerdlow says, "With a Trump win, afternoon tea on me at the Randolph. You deserve it for tonight." Oh, thanks. Do you live in the area, Swerdlow? I'd love to meet you. David UK says, where are we now? Sorry, where are we? Jake Yorkman says, "Tonight's election will be a carbon copy of our election last year. The left will lose it embarrassingly." Well, hopefully. I mean, the polls are slightly different, but in the polls, as I said earlier, it's easy. The polls, I don't believe the polls. I just think it's too obvious. I mean, they put Joe Biden 12 points ahead. I mean, what? Even Mitt Romney could only make 5.4 behind. Even Obama couldn't only make 5.4 on Mitt Romney. The US is notoriously 50-50 on everything. Diego Rivera says, "Sargon of Mossad should know who's going to win." Oh yeah. David says, "Ben, are your neighbours on the Trump train?" I actually don't know my neighbours. It's a sign of the time, isn't it? I know the guys I live with, I don't think are interested. They're Sudanese. I don't think they're interested. I only know the name of one of my neighbours. He's the guy with the piano, Alan Liberace, as I call him. Sign of the times, isn't it? I know my family. My dad will just say whatever he needs to say to get along. It's very frustrating. Jake, I'm glad you is pleased you came across this stream. I'm glad you are too, Jake. Thank you for joining me. Gary Robinson says, "I recently saw a movie from the 70s about vote rigging. Trying to remember the title." Sue Hayward Tonkin, another Australian. Thanks for getting up. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Sarah. Hello, Sarah. How are you? God bless you all for giving the remotest level of shite. Or take it easy, Claire. But you can go to bed if you need to. I probably won't. I'll probably have to sleep at some point. But the good news is I've had my work for tomorrow morning cancelled, so I don't actually have to work till about midday, which means I can actually. Maybe it's providence. I don't know, or just good luck. But amazingly, I now have the opportunity to maybe see a bit more of this than I thought I was going to see. Lisa says, "If Biden gets in, I give up on politics and try to do whatever I can in a simple country life, which I want for my last few decades, if that's allowed." Well, Lisa, I wish you luck with that. I really do. But I wouldn't give up. Don't give up, definitely. I mean, firstly, if Biden gets in, it'll be probably by... Well, I don't think he will get in, because if it's by fraud, Trump will expose it. If it's because of... I mean, it will be depressing, because if he gets in, if the apathy is broken to get Biden in, and it's going to be depressing, but it could be just what people need. Because you know what will happen? There'll be a mass national lockdown, the economy will collapse, there'll be a new depression, there'll be another war. I mean, there'll probably be another 9/11 and a false flag, and there'll be another war at some point. And people will look back and they think, I voted for this. And that will be enormously educational for people. I know it's an uphill struggle where you're dealing with normies, but it's sheeple. I'm not scared to say the word sheeple because you said I would never say those words, but I'm going to say it. Sheeple. It's a difficult uphill struggle, but you do make progress. You do, and who knows when you might hit that 100th monkey point when you suddenly it'll be like a light switch. It's like you're climbing up a steep hill, and boom! Suddenly you're at the top of it. Jake Yorkman says, isn't it funny how Scotland are now asking the national government for more money? So much for independence. Jake, that old Jimmy Cranky, what's her name? Sturgeon, that big fish in Edinburgh. She wants you to be independent by sucking you into the EU. Oh, dear. Sarah says, the internet's gone mad. Even I'm a troll. Lamau, I'm the one who listens and learns, no affiliation. Yeah, I heard about it. We had a little conversation about that, and that's true, yeah. Jake says to fund their tier system, the games Scotland are playing is going to mess them up. David says Scottish independence is fueled by hatred of the English because they're perfectly happy to go under the yoke of the EU. Exactly. Lisa says polls are controlled crap. Are we now? They are indeed. It's all. I mean, whatever happens. I mean, so far we'll find out sooner or later. But I don't believe the polls at all. Jake says, hopefully one day we can openly state we're Trump supporters. Now I feel it or not, I'll see my new Borat movie review. Stillskin, hello. Pat Riot, hello. You've taken tomorrow off to watch the results. Hey, I admire your dedication, mate. I do. Diego Rivera, Trump, when he's voted, will betray the American people. No, he won't. Stiltskin, is Trump winning? Well, he's certainly not losing. I mean, it's too soon to call, but there's a lot of people are hopeful for Florida. Trump is open about, he's very open about the possibility of fraud, which is really good. Amazing Polly has put on a video say Trump will win, but what? I'll have to look. Things are looking up, Charles on Lee said it was 3 a.m. last year in the States when the results were revealed. That's right. So it'll be about, which depending on the time zone, it'll be about 9 a.m. here. Hugo Rune says, face miles of trials with smiles. Precisely. David Schultz has quoted Frank Zappa here. Politics are the entertainment branch of the industry. Conspiracy Theory Watch. Oh, got it. I've says here. Sorry to have to be the one to tell you this again, Ben. No, you're not. But David Icke has been suspended from Twitter. Lol. Well, I'm sorry to take the wind out of your sails. I know you love gloating about these things, but we've already talked about that. You got in too late there. I thought I'll block you later. Oh, I'm a bit early. I'm too busy doing this. I'll block you later. I blocked you on Twitter. I'll block you here later. Stilson says, why don't you put a donation button on, Ben? You're not rich. It's a donation button is just too. It's just too easy. It's low hanging fruit for the trolls. What I do have, I mean, if you want to donate to me, I have a PayPal. If you want to donate to me, if you write to me at my email address bennyj74gmx.co.uk, I'll give you details on how to do that. But I don't just sit around. I don't openly ask for donations. If people approach me and ask, I will. Taj Investigates, hello. How are you, mate? Nice to see you, Taj. E-Man's talking about, hello E-Man, Agenda 21 and the Great Reset, yes. Supposedly the Great Reset is good for, apparently, the Great Reset is good for getting people out of the coronavirus, but of course, it's just a way of introducing economic lockdown to replace the COVID-19 lockdown. Diego Rivera says, Trump is 74, he's no spring chicken. Well, he's not. But see, Diego Rivera, he is. Diego Rivera, he is. Oh God, it keeps flipping down. he's very, very hale and hearty for his age, you must say. He's in good shape. He's in good shape for his age. He's fit. He's a fit man compared to, say, Biden, who's who's extremely frail and old. What will happen is if Trump's elected, he will take us into World War III. He will take what? During the last 4 years, right? If you look, America during the 21st century has been almost a continuous war from 9/11 onwards. Bush and Obama were ultimate war hawks. Even before then, if you go back to Clinton, Reagan, Bush Senior, you get the same thing. You get massive interference, you get bombings and things like that in all around the world. Whether it's in Serbia, whether it's in other places, whether it's in South America, you get like intervention, massive intervention. You know, by American standards, in the last 4 years, Trump is very much isolationist and almost pacifist. Of all the people you accuse of taking someone into World War III, you choose Trump? You nominate him as the president to take us into World War III? That doesn't make sense at all. Why didn't he do it in the last 4 years? Sarah A says, Ben is a proper gent. Thank you very much. Diego Rivera says, Biden was never meant to win. He's 78. He is... I think they want him... It's a kind of... It's kind of the thing about Biden is he's the best they could come up with, which is a good sign. It's a good sign that the Democrats are in a bad way, whatever happens, if that's the only candidate they can come up with. Any presidency that they create, if they somehow manage to get into the White House, him and Harris, is going to be enormously dysfunctional. It's going to be weak, it's going to be incompetent, and everyone's going to see it. Oh, where are we now? Sarah A, I'm sorry, says her business has gone. She works 60 to 80 hours a week. I'm very sorry about that. A lot of people have, unfortunately. Conspiracy Theory Watch accuses me, says, you're too much of a snowflake, Ben. Rubbish. You're like a big kid at Conspiracy Theory Watch. I don't know if it's just one of you or how many of you. You know, going, na, David Icke's been banned. I mean, goodness me, grow up. Diego Rivera says the North Korean CIA puppet will come back into the picture. Well, I'm sure all the good work that Trump has done, cooling down the tensions between the two Koreas, will go. Yeah. If Biden were to win, which is why I hope he won't. Stilton tells me to cut down on the carbs, Ben. Green Sky says, I'm a Scot and I'm no fan of the SNP. Well done. Just like the BBC, they do not speak for the whole of Scotland. I'm glad to hear it. Some of you, I think, can see through this mess. It's ridiculous. Oh yes, we're gonna be free and independent. Yes, a member state of the EU. Oh yes, how free and independent we will be. Flappy Hands says mentally sharp too. I mean, the thing about Green Sky, the thing about Scotland, and this is not a criticism of you or all Scottish people, but it's the same problem I see in Wales and Ireland. It's this idea that you can have no foreign enemy apart from Britain. And I'm a Welshman, and I say this, I'm a patriotic Welshman, I say this about my own country. I don't have the accent because I live in Oxford, but this has disarmed us. In Ireland, you see it, especially with Peter Sutherland and the EU and the Lisbon Treaty and things like that. The Irish have been totally disarmed by this idea because they have been conditioned to believe that Britain can be the only foreign enemy that country can ever have. And it is totally false. And that falsehood has completely completely messed up. Hugo Rowan says he'll donate to me if I promote cannabis as a medicine. Sativex, get it now. Of course I do. I mean, it's a very important thing. Yeah, definitely. I'm not just saying that because you say you'll donate to me, but my mum used to smoke it, and she, like yourself, she had nerve damage, and it caused her a lot of pain and a lot of problems, other problems as well. She suffers from spasms, paralysis, things like that. And the doctor actually, her GP said, look, said to her, this is strictly off the record, but smoke a spliff. If you repeat that, I'll deny I said it. So yeah, absolutely. And Jake says here, Trump has prevented World War III. Yeah, exactly. Been nominated for 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. Yeah, 3 times. Yeah, he's taken steps to he's trying to cool the tensions in the Middle East. These massive tensions that exist between Israel and most of its neighbours. He, more than anyone else, has tried to cool that down. I mean, Obama's roadmap to peace was nothing for this. The roadmap to peace was designed to fail. Trump has he's helped renew diplomatic relations between the United Arab Emirates and Israel, a country that has been basically in a Cold War for over 50 years. So, I mean, for goodness sake, Diego Rivera, Trump is going to take us into World War III? What are you talking about? Hello, Magma, how are you? Magma, hello. Great reset. It's meant to be dark NWO, but Trump and team are turning it from dark to light. Make it a good thing. Yes, Magma, there's so much that he said that means he can say through this. Trump is essentially saying the kind of things that some of the things that you and I have been saying for years. And he's president of the United States. It's unbelievable. E-Man says some people say Kamala Harris is meant to take over. E-Man, I think most people are saying Kamala Harris is meant to take over. Rabbit says, no one tell Ben, but the US has been fighting in Syria all through Trump's presidency. And but Trump has been trying to withdraw. This is why they forced him. They basically maneuvered him into doing those missile strikes and the assassination of Soleimani. They maneuvered him into that position to try and get, you see? He's trying to cool it down. He hasn't invaded. There's been no new invasions under Trump. None. Diego Rivera, if you want to win the presidency, you'd have to have a candidate aged 50 and is handsome. Well, I suppose it helps. I mean, President Kennedy was 46, Kennedy was actually the youngest president ever when he was elected, 46. Very young for a president. And he was sort of handsome and he had that image of himself. But Trump, Trump is young at heart. Taj is asking me whether Trump really had COVID-19. Yes, I think he did. It's I'm not sure though. But Boris did too, Diego Rivera. Stillskin, I'd love to do a Skywatch sometimes. Sarah, can I speak Welsh? Dim yn dda iawn, ychydig o ei ar yn awr, meddwl I. I'm a bit rusty with my Welsh, but I come from a Welsh-speaking area. My uncle speaks Welsh. Diego Rivera, will Trump live to the end of his presidency? If he's lived so far, which means there are powerful people protecting him. Of course, they may. There may be trouble, but but so far so good. There's been attempts on his life, and they have repelled them. Otherwise, he'd have ended up like Kennedy. Hugo Roon says, "Oh, thanks, Hugo. BennyJ74gmx.co.uk. If you email me, I really appreciate that, mate. I will definitely talk about cannabis online because I have done in the past. I will do so in more time. Thank you very much." E-Man says, I don't think Trump has the virus, as I don't think it exists. I think it does, but it does, but there's a lot of other things associated with it, as I said on my Lockdown 2 live stream. Claire's going to bed. Good night, Claire. Sleep well. Swirlo says, Steve Mumbling isn't on, is he? No, he's not. I always say he should get up, because, I should Jake Yorkman says, US troops in Syria are now depleted. They're coming home. Yeah, Trump's trying to extradite the USA from that incident. He really is. He's trying to get them out. It's ironically, it's very similar to what Lenin did with Russia. He called it revolutionary defeatism, but it's actually, but it's not. I mean, of course, it's slightly different because this is a foreign war, but he's trying to desperately to remove US intervention between the Assad regime and al-Nusra. Rabbit says when Trump gets involved in fighting, it's not his fault. Not if he's been manipulated. No. Remember the fire in Trump Tower just beforehand? Tad says, do you think Trump will be the last president? No, because if If Trump is president, I think the USA will survive. I think if anyone other than Trump was president, that's when you got problems. But the US, I do sometimes fear for the future of the US, which is a shame because I'm a big fan of America, you know. Stiltskin says, do you ever blast music and piss your Sudanese neighbours off? No, I don't. I'm just going to go now to your comments on the live stream notices. So on the live stream notices I just posted, someone called Nyon Mlake Lu, who is a date bot, I'm not going to reply to. John Nolan says, why don't you dress up like Brian Cox on Halloween? Maybe next time. Nobber. I've done a video. Do you see my video of Cox where I do an impression of Cox? Steve071 says, I get your trailer notification, but not the live stream notification earlier. Oh. Well, Steve, are you in there now? I don't think you're in there now. I do hope you find a way to get into the live stream, definitely. Okay, now there's the general notice, which I put up earlier. Steve Mumbling says, do you really think someone who's doing his best to prevent people voting should be in the White House? If Trump said Roswell was a mogul or similar balloon string, would you accept that? Don't just say he wouldn't say that. Answer the question. Roswell was a mogul balloon string. So that's all he could ever say about it. Trump is not trying to prevent people voting. I don't know where you got the idea from. Trump has said that... Well, funny enough, Trump made an interesting comment about Roswell, which I've talked about before, where he didn't say it was a Project Mogul or a similar balloon. So it's an academic... If he said that, I'd wonder why. I mean, obviously he has lied about UFOs, and it's interesting. The way he lies about it is interesting, because it's like he knows something. He's trying to give hints out. So does that answer your question, Steve? TK replies, Ben will probably reply to this comment in his upcoming comment reply video, which he'll say, no, Steve, that's wrong, so hold tight for that, Steve. Well, it's not the upcoming comment reply video, it's this live stream, but apart from that, you're correct. Another date bot. Charles Unleashed says, it's going to be tremendous, folks. Wonderful and tremulous. Bigly and really incredible. Bigly? Bigly, that sounds like something that Horrible Hairy Toes would say. Brian Clare says, brilliant, been following this intensely, of course. Creepy Joe's laptop. Yeah, definitely. BZ Garson says, of which there is no proof has been provided. What are you talking about? It's everywhere, BZ. Have a look for it. BZ says, no, if you're talking about the BS about Hunter Biden, no physical evidence has been presented. Even Fox News said somebody had lost it. The New York Post article didn't provide evidence that the meeting ever took place. They're covering it up. They're refusing to cover it. Steve says, good evening. Honestly, this is early in the investigation. It's all going to come out. No. Diego Vera says, who would win a running race between Trump and Biden? Oh, Trump. Biden can hardly walk without... You can see he needs a bloody walking stick. Rabbit says, what's the fire in Trump Tower got to do with Trump fighting in Syria? Because it was lit just before the missiles were launched. And someone died. And I got a feeling they said next time it will be Melania or Barron in there. Sarah says, I have 4 children. I act only in their interest, ever so slightly terrified for their future. I've got 1 daughter, and I am too. But, that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Jake says, honestly, I see the Russians as allies these days. The fact they're the only nation in the world to cast out the Rothschilds many years ago today. They're still very proud people, still fighting. Me too, Jake. In fact, Russia was never supposed to come out of the Soviet era. The original plan under Gorbachev and the Rockefeller Foundation was for the Soviet Union to reform in the same way that China did, basically, and become more sort of liberal and capitalist, but remain under the one-party state of the Communist Party. But it didn't work. The whole thing collapsed. Gorbachev was out. Putin and Yeltsin and Putin was in, and I'm glad. Because I sometimes call this the triumvirate of freedom. That is Putin, Trump, and Boris. Now, of course, Boris has been compromised, but we've still got Putin and Trump. But honestly, these are the few statesmen in the world I feel any respect for. Diego Rivera says, Red Dwarf, Waxworld, Trump and Biden. Oh, that's an episode of Red Dwarf from Series 4, but Trump and Biden, they're not in it. I mean, you've got other people in it, like it's Elvis and Gandhi and people like that. E-Man says, you can think it exists, but I see no reason to believe it does. Several governments have been asked for proof. It's been isolated. People don't know how easy it is to pass human off. Well, I've caught it. I've had it. I go into this in more detail in my Lockdown 2 live stream, E-Man, so have a watch of that. Rabbit says Russia targets its propaganda, conspiracy theorist nutters. That's a very mainstream media way to put it. You could say that Russia informs people who are open-minded of the truth behind the headlines. Max Organ says, evening all, I'm Benny Handles. Hello, guys. Stiltskin says, this time of year, the thin veil between us and the outworld. You notice any difference in weirdness? I haven't, actually. Swerdlow asked what Miles's thoughts are on the election. I don't know. He sent me, and he was the one who told me that thing from Natural News I read out earlier. He was the one who sent me that. Stiltskin says our pineal glands are calcified by southern water. Yep, fluoride in the water. Flappy Hand says USA preparing for civil war. It may. Who knows? It may come to that. I mean, I don't want that to happen, but the same could happen in Europe, in which case all I know is which side I'll be fighting on if that happens, but I don't want that. E-Man says HIV didn't exist either. That's Christine Maggiore. Yeah, I've read about that. It's interesting. Yeah, I haven't made my mind up on that. David UK says mumbling seems quite easily led. All you have to do is put anything, a video or comment about UFOs or Roswell or free energy, and you cannot guarantee he'll reply. Rabbit, why doesn't that make sense? Flappy Hen says mumbling is a bit closer-minded. Max Organ says you leave Ben's pineal gland out of this. Jorge River says any different who wins in the USA for UK benefit? Oh, everything. I mean, Trump is pro-Brexit. He will work with an independent Britain. Biden will just probably give money to the Rejoin Alliance, which is bound to turn up at some point. Rabbit says Putin was, of course, a communist and an officer in the KGB. Well, men of his generation had to be. If you had to be a communist. That's the thing. They don't allow you to be anything else. They're trying to do that here now, aren't they? Jake says the only news outlet I take any notice of is Russia Today. After the Brexit vote, they were the only ones speaking the truth. Yeah, I really do actually. I do actually trust RT. I really do go to. I know lots of people say, "Oh, they're agents, they're shills," but then everyone says that about everything. Rabbit says because you're an idiot. Oh dear. Very, very intellectual, Rabbit. Max Egan says 2 words. Roy Cohn. He was a singer, wasn't he? Better to go and live in Russia then. Oh, God. Keep strong, says Sarah. It's a difficult time. It is indeed. Stilton says, seriously, do the keto diet, Ben. Yeah, I've heard about that. I'm not sure. Oily fish, says Hugo. Max Organ says, Miles' default thoughts. We're all going to die, and then half-witted mental cases who want to pretend to be super soldiers on camera. Miles is not like that. He's not. Yeah, E-Man, I heard other people from Christine Maggiore. Yeah, there was that House of Numbers thing. Very interesting. Membership at the Communist Party was optional, says Rabbit. Oh, not if you wanted to join the KGB, mate. No. Funny enough, I've got a book here. It's really good. It's about Oleg Grushinsky, or whatever his name was. It's this. This is interesting. This is by Ben McIntyre. Colonel Oleg Gordievsky of the KGB. He defected. He actually sneaked out of Russia. It was in the 80s. This was in the last days of the Soviet Union, and he's still in hiding. He lives in Kent, I think, somewhere in hiding. He lives in an MI5 safe house. Why? After all these years, and the post-Cold War era is now in its 4th decade, and it must be personal because you know who's the KGB officer, the counterintelligence officer in the KGB, sent to track him down? It was Vladimir Putin. Yes. Putin is a patriot, says Jake, and he's an ally. Yep, he is. He's an ally of people fighting against this New World Order Western agenda. Correct. Swerdlow says, any news on Richard D. Hall? I don't know, he'll probably bring out a new series at some point, Swerdlow. Oh, you didn't have to be in the Communist Party? Oh, right. Oh, I don't have this information to hand now. Max Organ says, will you be doing a special on Tony Topping's extrautero baby? When I've read his book, he's written a new book that's just come out. Stiltskin says, where has D. Hall gone? Well, Richard tends to take time off before his tours. He's probably producing a new series, and he may be organising a new virtual tour. All right, Rabbit, I'll take your point on the KGB right now. I don't have any further information. Roy Cohn was Max... Oh, right, not a singer. Oh, sorry. I was thinking of the guy who did that Walking in Memphis... You know, that song. He was Trump's lawyer and a guiding light. You want to look him up. He knows how to flesh out your understanding of Trumpy plum cakes. All right. Robert Fisk is dead. Yeah. Red meat is the way forward. Everything in moderation. All right, guys. Rabbit says, so basically a patriot is someone who supports an ex-KGB communist dictator. That's a sworn enemy of the West. Oh, come on, you're talking ancient history now. Look, I'm just going to go to the news again, see if there's any updates. Any results? 0-0 still. There's just the BBC stream, the BBC tech stream, which is totally biased. Maybe I'll go back to Sargon. Oh, his stick started. Let's have a look. Has he gone live yet? Oh yes, Styx is live. Hey guys, I think I might call it a night, or not call it for now. I might do another live stream later if any of you are still awake. And in the meantime, I think I might go and watch Styx for a bit. All right, but we've been going for an hour. That's pretty good, isn't it? Take it easy, guys. Keep watching the channel if you're awake later. If not, I'll just do a live stream and give you an update if I'm still awake, and call it a recording, and you can just watch the recording. But thank you all of you for taking part in this second part of this live stream. All the best.